Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace. This is Tracy Lene Muhammad, and I just wanted a few minutes of your very valuable and your very precious time to talk about some of the thoughts that came up during my morning ancestral connection meditation time. Monday is a full moon, and as I look at my natal chart and where the houses are for me in the Leo full moon, it helps me to understand better what it is I need to release, some of the blocks that are happening for me. Each of us has different energy in different houses, where it's my Leo house may not have the same houses in it as yours. You can find out more about your natal chart if you're interested. Let me know. I know somebody who's fantastic at it, and I would put you in touch with her. Looking over my chart and what I need to release, what is good for me. It's like the blueprint. The natal chart is like a blueprint for your life. And the way it happens is when you were born, at the exact time you came from your mother's womb or via C-section, what was going on in the planet really defines what's happening inside of you, because we're all energy. And so the energy of the planet helped to define you. When you understand that better, you can see where some of your issues are going to come from, and why some things just naturally happen better for you just based upon when you came into the planet. I was born in 1968, and that was a lot of upheaval, social injustice. And so when my mother was carrying me, that means what was going on in her mind was the social injustices. Then here I come, born a few months after the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King. So the energy in the planet was definitely on justice. And that's why I believe part of the reason my entire life I felt like I need to stand up for the justice for the darker people of the planet is because when I emerged, that's what was going on. Everybody's different. What I've decided to do with each of the releasing of the full moons, instead of focusing on what I lack, I decide on what it is I want to experience. And in order to experience those things, then I have to be willing to let go of the things that I'm holding on to that keep my hands full, so I cannot experience those things. I word the sentence because I believe that words have so much power. The Bible talks about it. The Holy Quran talks about it. In the Bible, it says that the power of life and death is held in the tongue. The Holy Quran speaks in many chapters about what you say you will experience. And even though both of those are oftentimes attached to religion, when you are living in a spiritual existence, those books take on a whole new form, and the meaning of them do. Not just the Holy Quran or the Bible, but any book that you read that processes spirituality takes on a whole new meaning for you when you let go of religion, religion was definitely needed to tie us back to the spiritual source, because religion is just a set of rituals. Where religion takes a turn that I believe that's not in line with the Creator is people decide that that's the only way to access the full power of the universal energy from which we all come. Some people have decided that that energy has a particular name, and that's the only name. It's like no other way to God but through the name of Jesus. And then Muslims say Allah is the name, and other religions say, it's Yahweh, or this is the way. What I believe that all of them are the way, and that everybody's truth is the truth that works for them. When it doesn't work for you is when you have to reassess. Maybe this isn't the religion for me. Maybe this isn't the way for me. What's worked for me now is to release all religion and live in a spiritual space where I take from every last doctrine that feels like it's something to take from, and I've made myself this jambalaya called Tracy. One of the things that I'm doing now is meditation, and I need to meditate more. Meditation, we are taught that meditation is when you're just listening. Prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when you listen. What I'm learning to do is listen to my higher self, that part of me that's connected to all of this. And when I do that, it's even to the point where now, unless the spider is in my house and I cannot get it out, I don't kill it. I just let the spider go on about its way, or I try to trap it and set it out in, the wild back outside. I live in a wooded area, as you can see, so lots of spiders, lots of bugs, lots of mice, but I don't want them in my house. I am not pretending when I tell you I decided we'd had a mouse in the house. And I said to that mouse, I'm going to set a trap and kill you so you can decide to leave on your own. And I said it out loud, and I felt like I was vibrating on the level because that mouse hasn't been back. And because I'm like, I'm going to kill you. We had already killed one. So I said, okay, they traveled together. So let me let you know, if you come back, you're going to be dead. And we have not seen any more mice because I let them know, this is my home. You can't come in here, but you can be outside. So back to the full moon on Monday, August 3rd in Leo. Look at your chart. If you don't have a chart already, it's probably too late to get one for this month, but you can get one for the next. But Leo and Leo energy, we always talk about Leo the lion, but you know, lions being the king of the jungle, sometimes that can be an arrogant way. So you may have to release some of your arrogant ways. I know exactly what I need to release based upon my natal chart, and that's what I'm working on. But instead of making it a lack, like I was saying a few minutes earlier before I just went all off into Tracyville like I do often, is I'm rephrasing. So instead of saying, I want to release XXXX, I say, I am ready to experience ZZZZ. I am ready to experience this. And I know that in order to experience whatever it is I want to experience, I have to be willing to be open to not letting go of XXX because I'm ready for this experience. Being ready for the experience for me, now this wordage works for me. Everybody has to find what works for them. Opens me up more instead of me saying, I release eating junk food late at night. Instead of that, I say, I'm ready to experience what it would feel like to wake up in the morning after having a full night's sleep and not eating after 8 p.m. Now, then, since I'm ready to experience that, then I'm better equipped at doing it. And that works for me. It might not work for you. There's so many different tools. Use the one that works for you. But this energy of the moon, I know there are people who are like, oh, it's just the moon. I don't believe in all of that. And so I don't even try to convince people because that's not what I do. I don't need to convince anybody how to live their life. It's their life. And it could be that their energy incarnated to be exactly the person who doesn't believe in anything. And that's okay. I don't care. For me, it is, I vibe with the energy of the planet and I take on other people's energy. I really never wanted to say I'm an empath because I felt like it was a whole trend, so I wouldn't say it. But all my whole life, I've been somebody who's absorbed other people's energy, especially energy of death. My incarnation this time connects more with the other side, that side of death. So I see dead people, like the movie said, and I can feel the energy around me of people who've transitioned, and lots of times they use me to say stuff to people that are still on this side. It's used to scare me, and I used to think maybe I was a little off, but now I accept this gift and I'm trying to utilize it. And I do energy readings, and what the energy readings do, I'm not a psychic. I cannot tell you your future. What I can tell you is where your energy is now and what's around you and what you might want to focus on. That's what I do. But the full moon coming on August 3rd, if you don't have a natal chart, just sit down with yourself and see what are some of the things that you like to experience and write those out. And when you write out what it is you'd like to experience, then sit back down a little bit later, not at the same time, and ask yourself, well, what's in the way of me experiencing that? And that's the thing you need to release, whatever is in the way of experiencing that. If you want to experience weighing 150 pounds, what's in the way of that? Is it the way you eat? Is it the time you eat? Is it not the lack of exercise? Although exercise is only 20% of weight loss. It's what you're putting in your mouth that's keeping you from where you want to be. If you're like me and you're over 50, you have some other hurdles to jump, which is that low estrogen, but it can still be done. There are foods that boost the estrogen. There are foods that allow you to release belly fat. Those are the things that you have to focus on eating. And you have to say, I want to experience not having all of this belly fat. Well, at least that's what works for me. And I said, well, I want to experience that. So since I want to experience it, how can I get to that? It works better for me because I like to stay on the high vibe side. And when I think about what I lack, then I start to get depressed and think about all the other things that I lack and how I got to that and why the boy in the 10th grade didn't like me. I mean, I just started going all over the place. I'm no longer in the 10th grade. I'm 52 years old. So the boy in the 10th grade that didn't like me doesn't mean he was a bad person. Doesn't mean he was an asshole. Maybe I just wasn't his type, which gets me to the next thing. When somebody does not like us, it doesn't mean that they're a horrible person. Maybe you're just not their cup of tea. Once somebody said to me, "You're just not my cup of tea," talking about me as a person. And it was when I was in the Nation of Islam. And she said that. She's like, you're just not my cup of tea. And it didn't hurt because I'm witty. And the first thing I said is, well, I don't like tea anyway. Tea tastes like nasty water. I'm a coffee drinker. So I was okay with not being her personality type, because that's essentially what she was saying. My personality, she did not like. And that's okay. She doesn't have to like my personality. And I didn't have to make her out to be a demon because she didn't like my personality. For me, I was growing then. So it was at the edge of when I knew that all that I had received from the Nation of Islam was beautiful, but it was time for me to leave religion and to leave behind the Nation of Islam as such, but take the principles of what I had learned and then to do and live my life in the way that was more pleasing to me. You've heard me say this before, if you've listened to me. I would rather fall flat on my face doing it my full way than to stand on my feet doing it somebody else's way. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't feel authentic. And that's just the way I am. I don't expect anybody else to be that way. But it's been more than 11 minutes now, and I'm grateful if you listen this long. Really, the point of me coming to you was to show you one of the ways that works for me, and it might work for you. Instead of saying what you lack, say what you want to experience. Write out, I want to experience driving a late model car that I can afford the maintenance on because it's high luxury, and that's what you want. And then maybe come back the next day and say, well, what's blocking me from doing that? So I would suggest that maybe you do that today or tomorrow, so that on the full moon, when you're saying what you want to experience, your subconscious mind is releasing all of the blocks that are in the way of what you want to experience. Write it out. This works for me. Write it completely out and then sit with it. Feel it. Transform yourself into the emotion of what it would be like to be driving that late model car. See yourself on the highway. See yourself playing your favorite song as you're driving down the street in the car that belongs to you, that you can afford the note, all of that. And then say thank you and burn that paper up. Burn it up. Let it go. That's the new way I'm doing it. Now, it still may work for you to write out all of the things that you want to release and then see yourself releasing it. Whatever works for you, just do it. We want to experience the best time on the planet as we can. When I was writing in my gratitude journal this morning, I wrote how grateful I am to be the 52nd time seeing August 1st. Because it's the 52nd time that I've seen it, and I'm grateful for it. I intend to see 51 more August 1st, if that's in the plan, if that's what my higher self has, but I'm just going to keep enjoying. Thank you so much for your time. You go and have an amazing Saturday. New full moon energy is here. So if you start to feel a little certain way, it's okay. Just decide what you want to experience. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, hotep, shalom alaikum, peace out to Brooklyn and everywhere else.